DraftKings, which is the new number one online gambling company, was just bought by Vanguard, BlackRock, and State Street. So the three largest asset managers just bought the dip on DraftKings stock. So that is awesome to see. What I'll do in this video is I'll go over the recent institutional buying, active and passive money, and then I'll cover the Wall Street analyst ratings. I'll go over that recent change now making DraftKings the number one online gambling company in the world. And then I'll go over what states that they're moving into next. And at the end of the video, I will give you a price prediction for this stock. So with that being said, let's talk about it. So yes, the three largest asset managers are buying more of this stock, but it's also worth noting that we had Whale Rock Capital Management increase exposure, Susquehanna increased exposure by 64%. So active money within the top 10 shareholder list is buying more of this stock. Wellington Management increasing exposure by 40%. And then we saw Fidelity double their exposure. So active money is buying as well. So active and passive investors are buying more of DraftKings. So that is awesome to see. And then with that being said, let's take a look at the Wall Street analyst ratings for this stock. So right now there are 19 bullish ratings for DraftKings on Wall Street to just 2 bearish ratings. So 19 to 2 in terms of bulls to bears. That can tell you that the general consensus on Wall Street is a bullish one for DraftKings, which is awesome to see. And then in terms of recent changes, so we saw Argus Research maintain their buy rating and increase their price target to $46. We saw Needham reiterate their buy rating with a $50 price target. That all happened over the past couple weeks. So some more bullish updates from Wall Street. Definitely a good thing to see there. And then with that being said, let's take a look at this most recent story. So FanDuel had been dominating the online gambling space for years, but now DraftKings has now taken the mantle as the number one gambling company in the US. So for sports betting specifically, FanDuel, or excuse me, so in August, DraftKings took the US online gambling lead, and now they capture 31% of overall gross gaming revenue compared to FanDuel at 30%. So this is definitely a change and puts FanDuel in the lead in terms of online gambling. And then this here shows us where DraftKings is active and shows you where DraftKings is seeing a launch pending. So we can see here that in North Carolina should have legalized gambling in 2024. That's the timeline there. So DraftKings will be there. And then we see these blue states here are kind of on their way towards being legally able to gamble in those states. So that includes Texas, Georgia, South Dakota, South Carolina, Minnesota. So awesome to see there. And then with that being said, let's take a look at the chart and give a price prediction for this stock. So we've came down to test this $34.50 level. We've held it over the past week or so, and we've started to move higher. So this $35 support level is a very crucial one for this stock. I call it very crucial because this is where shares had topped out in August of this year. And we also used this level as support earlier in November, and we used this level as support in early December. Therefore, I believe we see this level continue to propel shares higher, and I believe we see this outperforming stock, which just for clarity here, the stock has outperformed the entire market since 2023. I believe we see a move up to $44 over the coming weeks, as this is really the next major level of resistance. It's where shares had bottomed in July of 2021. It's where shares had also topped out in May of 2020. Therefore, I believe we see a move up to this next major level of resistance for DraftKings here. So that's what I'm seeing from the chart from a technical standpoint. This is the number one leader in online gambling, and this gambling business, this gambling industry has really been a growing one as well. So they're in a growing industry. They're seeing more and more states come online in terms of gambling. I believe the number one player within the online gambling space, DraftKings, should continue to do well, especially as we see more and more institutional shareholders come on and buy the stock. So With that being said, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you here next time.